FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and we work with our state counterparts throughout the year and our other federal interagency partners to help Americans in times of need when there's a natural disaster or some crisis in this country.
There's a tendency when we think about responding to disasters, FEMA's almost become a verb to represent response. But FEMA doesn't do that. They support the governors primarily at the governor's request of sending in resources, in some cases specialized teams. There's this tendency to think, well, if I don't see FEMA on day one, they're not helping. Well, they're helping at the State Emergency Operations Center. They're helping getting supplies in. And really, you don't see FEMA on the ground until the situation is stable. And then you'll start seeing FEMA in the field as they're working to get people registered for assistance.
So FEMA has a lot of different programs to help disaster victims. Most notably, after a lot of disasters, people need housing or some sort of home repair. And so one of the main things that we do is provide shelter and housing for folks. We can provide them assistance to stay in a hotel. Our main effort is to get people into a safe, secure place so that they can start their recovery. And then we have other programs. We can help them out if they've lost their car. We can help them out with death benefits. So there's a whole gamut of programs that FEMA does, really tailored to whatever happened to the individual and their families.
FEMA has approved about 126,000 people for individual assistance, with more than $60 million already paid to these people. FEMA is also paying for temporary stays for 2,500 people in hotels. And together we're working on more temporary housing.
FEMA's teams, they don't leave with the cameras leave. The crux of a lot of the things that people think about FEMA are things they'll never see unless they are directly working with FEMA in the rebuilding of those communities.
In many cases, FEMA will be around for years after big disasters. And so we view ourselves as a response agency and a long-term recovery agency.
I'm incredibly appreciative of the rapid response and the cooperation from the federal team at FEMA. And now we are expediting the declaration for major disaster relief today. And again, I just want to thank our partners at FEMA for advancing resources before these were even made yesterday.
FEMA has a separate fund that is established by Congress that's called the Disaster Relief Fund.
That is a fund that is specifically focused on disasters and using those funds to help in the response and the long-term recovery of disasters. Congress gives us that funding each year to carry out that mission.